Compact with Africa Conference.
Exactly, compact with Africa, and rightly put in is it quotation mark or something like that?
In parentheses.
In parentheses. So the focal point here has to be the consideration that some Nigerians who are old enough may have a sense of deja vu. We know that former President Olusegun Obasanjo literally traveled around the world. He went from country to country, and they kept on telling him, they said, Mr. President, you've traveled, you've gone to see the example of China, you've gone to see the example of the US and all of these countries. But in the end, attracting foreign investment, FDI, is the key thing.
Foreign direct investment.
Yes, but they wouldn't come because you're traveling. They would come because your policies at home are right. They will come because security at home is right. They would come because the weather, again in parentheses, is at home is right. That is the weather for investment. They would come because the things that they look forward to having at home are in place. So Mr. President will, of course, he's president and he wants to travel. He would go to all these places to market Nigeria, to sell Nigeria.
Okay.
But the question is, what exactly are they looking for? And do we have to travel for them before they would come to Nigeria? I think that if the grass is indeed green on this side, you don't have to go and tell them. They know they will come.
There won't be a fence anyway.
There won't be a fence at all.
Yeah. Okay. Then the immediate past governor of the central bank is in the news. Godwin Emefiele charged with purchasing vehicles for CBN, remanded pending bail. The
matter with the trial of the CBN governor, I hope it is not being politicized as it is alleged in some quarters.
I hope you yourself are not politicizing it.
Because from 20 charges, it has been beaten down to, is it 4 or 10 now? That's one. Number two, the procurement, and so when that happened, the procurement, the financial implication of the proceedings fell from 6.5 billion, I think, to about 1 billion or so now. But let's even leave that aside. Yesterday in court, according to the reports that we had, both counsels to both parties, the federal government and Emefiele, cited authorities to back the application for bail and the opposition to bail. They were citing so copious to authority that the judge had to say, you know what, guys, let me remand him first. Let me go and study all these people you've been quoting. So that I can now come back and make an informed decision whether to bail or not, whether to grant bail or not to grant bail.
Yeah.
So we are waiting to see what the learned judge learns further to.
Cyril, the next date for Emefiele in court will be November 28th. That's about 10 days from now.
After having spent 55 or 56 days in custody.
Are you going to court?
I can go to the court of public opinion to ask, is this right?
In court, public opinion does not.
Looking at our
public opinion does not hold sway.
The court of public opinion.
Okay. Where is that situated?
Here.
All right. Hear this one. Let's unite against terrorism. Tinubu urges Nigerians.
Yes, we will unite. But I think that the real challenge with fighting terrorism would be to put the government together. That has been the major, is it albatross or the major challenge, the Achilles heels of the war on terror has been that, like the former chief of defense have rightly said, there are fifth columnists in government. Who will bail that cat? Who will?
Is there a cat in the first place?
Of course, there is a huge cat.
And there's a bell.
Of course, there's got to be a bell, because when we talk about cat, I'm not just talking about domestic cat, I'm talking about...
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
I heard you first time.
Certainly, the family could be lions, could be tigers. You see, the war on terror has become an industry. It is something else. We are just talking about Boko Haram. When last did you hear Boko Haram? It has morphed from Boko Haram now to bandits.
Okay.
The question is, has Boko Haram gone? Have they dissolved? It appears that those who are profiteering from these things have a way of,
Cyril, the next story should gladden your heart. Right. Troops kill 6 terrorists in Kaduna, recover arms and motorcycles.
Thank God. But that is just a very minute pinch. Of course.
Microscopic.
There was a time, I think almost on a weekly or daily basis, the Air Force would release videos of their campaign against terrorists, bombing of terrorist hideouts. It was regular and ongoing. But the question was that the more they bombed those hideouts, the more these people got You know, emboldened to the point of even becoming turbanned. You know, the one in Katsina that had his gun slung to his shoulder. I mean, those bombs we are going on. So killing 6, killing 5 is good. Let's continue it. But the question is, why is the military's effort not leading to a significant reduction in the way that we can see and say, yes, indeed, this thing is gaining, you know, the momentum that we seek.
Okay. All right. Let's move to The Guardian now. The Guardian leads with this one. On easy come in Cano as appeal court affirms tribunal judgment sacking Governor Yusuf. Of course, you know, the same thing is happening in Zamfara and Bauchi State. Yeah.
No, but in Bauchi, the Court of Appeal has affirmed the election of Governor Bala Muhammad. Yeah. Okay. Among these 3 men, Bala Muhammad appears to be the only man of his own, if you know what I mean.
But let's talk Cano.
I know. But in the case of Cano, this is not going. Because only 2 days ago, a particular group, I can't pick the name now, was threatening Mr. President. It's in the news. They threatened Mr. President and said he must not interfere in the judicial process. He must allow you know. But now the outcome is clear. Cano is a place where you want to look at the legality of the case as well as the social implication of whatever comes out of it. But clearly, those unmarked, the votes that INEC didn't sign off, and yet went ahead to announce, are the main are the crux of the matter that is against the governor. It's not a very good case. I don't know what happens when this matter goes and appeal to the Supreme Court.
Is this a happy story? Air power has disrupted terrorist network, says Shetima. Yeah.
No, so the question is, I don't think it's government that should be telling us these things. It's like when the president says he's traveling to get foreign investors. It is Nigerians who should feel the impact of FDI. Okay, so if you say
so what terrorism, if the president leaves, you should not report it.
No, you report it, but the benefit of those travels will not be in the statistics. It comes in people's testimonies or testimonials. Again, they were on terror. A lot of these villages. I remember when Konduga was bombed in 2013 or 14. Governor Shetima, then governor of Borno State, went to Konduga. He literally wept. In fact, he stood there. He said he was not going to leave Konduga until the killers had been found. I'm not sure that really happened. Okay, he was governor. He needed to go back to Maiduguri.
That's Shetima.
Yes, if you are saying that air power has disrupted terrorist networks, again, it is affected villages. It is common people who should be able to testify and say,
that's it.
Yes, and say in the last 3 months, we've started going back to our homes, to our farms. Until that is happening, it is mere talk.
Cyril, let me report it 7:20, and this is newspaper headliners reaching you from the Voice of the People radio. Another story. Federal government assures on universal health coverage by 2030.
That's Professor Pate.
You know, the minister the other day declared an emergency in the sector.
Yeah, but to
your face, Cyril.
To what effect? no between now. So, for example, the 2.1 trillion naira that was budgeted to buy a yacht, buy repair Aso Rock, buy vehicles for the president's wife, and etc. How much of it is meant for the health sector, which is a cardinal sector for any economy, for any society? Okay. We are going to be spending 2.1 trillion naira in less than 2 months, and believe me, that money then go spend and finish.
All right, I have this story.
And so this is do we even have the data, the technology for data to cover all Nigerians?
Okay, let's work on the question.
Or primary healthcare centers to cover everybody, especially those in the rural areas.
Still, my mind simply went. I mean, goes to the old dispensaries we had.
These matters are deeper than government officials like to just make them sound sometimes.
Yeah,
these matters are very deep.
All right, Cyril, this one.
Citizen Jones, for lack of let me let you proceed.
Okay, time.
Yeah, sure.
Nigerians must unite to achieve Zekes' dream for nation. This is coming from the Sultan.
Great. great. I totally share that opinion with. In fact, I'm happy because another daily had reported it as saying Nigeria has defeated from the vision of the founding fathers. But of course, when you look at the founding fathers of Nigeria, I mean, if all the people that we normally call founding fathers are worthy of that name anyway, Zeke was the only and true nationalist among them. Nigeria today, basically, I mean, is in a very modern and definite sense was Zeke's idea, because at the Lancaster conferences and the conference before Lancaster, some of the people that were called founding fathers today didn't really, we are not keen, we are not happy about founding the nation called Nigeria. It was Zeke who stood and said that we had more to gain living together than
living apart.
Apart. But what they've made Nigeria into today is a country where people now feel that living apart will be better than living together. And that is the reason why it is easy to argue and believe and accept that indeed we've deviated. But if somebody like the Sultan can be giving credence to what Zeke said, then I think it is worthy of note that indeed Zeke, that we need to go back to his speeches, go back to his books, go back to the philosophy with which he founded parties like the NCNC and the NPP, and learn therefrom.
Yes, serious. Sometimes you're wondering if we as a country, as a people, really know what we want.
No, we don't. So, for example, Zeke studied the humanities in America. So he had this politics of what was it called? Give and take. He would say, "You speak, I listen. I speak,
you listen.
You listen." There is a sense in which his philosophy was sometimes also called Surulere. Patience pays. This hustle and bustle that Nigeria has turned into, everybody wants to go to Abuja. Zeke always said, "Look, we have a lot to gain by working patiently and working and seeking to find the answer than the rat race that we've turned nation building into." And rats don't. As you taught me many years ago, when a rat wins a rat race, what happens? He remains a rat.
Yeah.
Don't you look like a rat race in this country today?
Okay. I've left the race. Let's go to the Sun newspaper now. It leads with outcry over rising inflation. Outcry over rising inflation. That's the lead story in the Sun.
Outcry over rising inflation. Have you seen?
It's hit 27.33%.
30. And those and these official figures. Andy. Now, did you see those women that is it? What do they call it? Are they? I don't want to murder the Yoruba language. They say, is it Yoruba Ronu? Those
Yoruba
women
think
that said, "Tinubu, come and save us, so we are dying."
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are hungry.
It's the honest, simple truth. Government propaganda cannot put food in the stomachs of people, that one is even beyond inflation. Inflation, it is understandable when you have money. When you have inflation, is described as little, plenty money chasing fewer goods, right? That's the layman's definition of inflation. Now, it's even one thing when you have the money, but your buying power has been cut short. What we have today is beneath inflation.
Yeah. Cyril, when we talk inflation in Nigeria, my mind goes back to, you remember this, the mad cow disease came in the early 2000s, if you remember. Do you know what ended mad cow disease? Cyanide in cassava. And cassava, Nigeria is the world's leading producer of cassava. Abia State Governor at the time, Ojukwu, exported cassava. He made some money. So, which is saying we have no business bringing inflation to the country.
Oh, great. The people who deliberately let loose cattle to roam people's farms, destroy their livelihoods, and when they spoke, sometimes we are shot, we are killed, their wives are raped. You cannot sow evil and reap good. It does not happen.
Not even in magic.
My dear countrymen and women, even the Bible says that the fathers are feeding sour grapes, and the children is set on edge as set on edge. That's like saying that even when the fathers are the ones who did what was wrong, the children came to inherit it. There is no country where, look at the very earth that should be watered with fertilizer and sweat and toil and good water was being flooded by blood. These things have a way of coming back at the people. We spent 8 years of total waste. I just hope that, the president will pick up his pace early in the day and do what is correct and what is right. Where we are is not a very good place at all, believe me.
Okay, hear this next story. Wike, Fubara, and Makinde woo foreign investors.
Yes. Fubara and Governor Fubara. Of course.
That's your governor.
Sure. And again, I mean, the governor of Oyo State is my in-law, in the manner of speaking, because his wife is, of course, his wife is from Oyo State also. So we gave him a wife, and then he's now jostling for investors with us.
Peter Obi's wife is my in-law.
Yeah, so we can share it.
So we have a common heritage here.
Citizen Jones, in this country, you have an Igbo footballer who is captain of Cano Pillars. I don't know if he's still there. You see, they don't tell you these things. There was a year when Emeka Nyoko was going to get wed to his wife, Bumi. Emeka Nyoko. There was a whole editorial in the Daily Times or one of the national newspapers back then, describing what was happening. How that this was an intertribal, that he was one of the nation's most eligible bachelors getting wed to one of the. There was where they described it.
Yeah.
Back then. But now, today we have more Igbo marrying Yoruba, more Ejo marrying Nupe, more Hausa marrying Igbo. But we are made to believe that this is the time when we can't, that living together and working together is even more impossible. I find the politicians are the ones who are pushing this country backwards. Because common Nigerians don't care. Look at, even in the secular music, I mean, I'm not quite a fan, but you find that people are singing, so a Yoruba artist will be singing, infusing Igbo words. Igbo artist is singing, infusing Yoruba words. They don't play up those things. They don't play up these things.
All right.
So it was Zeke back in the day. Let me come back to what the Sultan said. It was Zeke back in the day who made sure to appoint Umaru Altine, a direct descendant of Usman Danfodio, who was a prince, who was supposed to be Sultan. Took him to Enugu and made him the first elected mayor of Enugu.
Yeah.
When the Northerners saw what Zeke had done, they couldn't. They could not reciprocate the gesture. They to have to appoint Okonkwo, one Okonkwo to the House of Assembly, I think in Kano also. So it became known as Okonkwo Kanu. John Esako, an Edoman, became the first, I think, elected man to represent Port Harcourt in this House of Assembly. These histories are largely hidden. The federal government can do a lot of things by simply setting money aside and help us to, produce films that can help to reenact that glorious past. But you know what? It doesn't pay them. They consolidate power by dividing us and making us believe that the Igbo is the enemy of the Yoruba. The Yoruba is the enemy of the Hausa. The Hausa is the enemy of the Nupe. The Nupe is the enemy of the Bachama. The Bachama is the enemy of the thief. The thief is the enemy of the Jaw.
All right.
It's such a pity.
Okay, let's move to the Vanguard now. And I might as well rub in the time. The time is 7:30. So newspaper headlines are still on here on the Voice of the People Radio, 90.3 FM. The Vanguard, why Nigeria's current financial system favors the rich against the poor. This is coming from analysts.
Why Nigeria's current financial system favors it? No. So
what is known now?
This is the thing. It is not the Nigerian financial system that favors the rich against the poor. It's not the system. The question is, who created this system? It is the Nigerian power elite that are captives of the money elite, that have been used as captives by the money elite to create a financial system that favors the money elite at the expense of the poor. It's not the system. It is human. Look at now. Do you know that while the Senate committee, is it Senate or Reps, was saying that the 2024 budget cannot be funded without fresh borrowings, it now went on to say that the nation already lost 1.something trillion naira to waivers. Citizen Jones, you are going to borrow money from all these places, China and World Bank and all these places, and yet you are losing trillions to waivers. What does that even mean? Those waivers, no be snake, no be monkey can't carry and go. You are the one who willfully, deliberately, perhaps unpatriotically awarded them at the expense of your own economy. So you have nobody to blame. It is Nigerians who are undoing Nigeria. There's no other way to explain it. Nigerians are the ones who are undoing Nigeria, destroying Nigeria, bleeding the economy, pilfering, and what have you. So nobody should blame the system. Saying that sort of hides behind is like hiding behind the mask. There are names to be named. You are giving people waivers. The people you are giving waivers are not people that you are trying to pull from poverty into wealth. Are people who already commanded humongous wealth. Waivers. And you're waiving money up, waiving taxes up to the tune of 1.something trillion. Meanwhile, you can borrow to come out fund your what's it called? Fund the budget.
All right, Cyril, sheath your sword. Let me take you to Kogi. No, Bayelsa first. Money reigns. Diri still triumphs in fiercest election, in spite of the money reign.
Money reigns. I'm trying to get what the editors mean by this.
Yeah.
Money reigns. Diri still triumphs
in fiercest
election. Well, maybe they mean to say that in spite of big money reign, but it's not money reign. I don't know referring to vote buying really. Not be waiting.
Can you really stop vote buying?
You can if you wanted to.
Okay.
You can. Why? If they didn't believe that it was possible, why did they deploy the EFCC, deploy ICPC? We saw those people that they caught with plenty money, and then in Imo State, some armed robbers went to rob vote buyers. They shot in the air. Policemen took to the hills. They vote. Then they took the money from the vote buyers.
All right, Cyril, let me quickly take you to Kogi. Vote buying slogan: East for Ajaka, Central for Ododo, West for 5,000 naira.
Well, I don't see them now. Nigerians, the reason the number continues to increase, I mean the number of vote sellers, it's not because of anything other than the fact that the more they stand on principle and stand on philosophy and stand on values, they realize that they keep getting the short end of the stick. So when evil is not punished, even good men become corrupted. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
But it can be stopped. The EFCC can track and stop it. The ICPC can also track and stop it. The question is, are we ready? Are we willing to do what is right? We're not ready. We're very far from it. We're light years from it.
Okay, let's move quickly to the leadership newspaper. Supreme Court, Judicial Council to screen 22 justices.
Yes, of course. The question about filling the Supreme Court slots has been on for quite a while. There's been a shortage of justices at the Supreme Court. So everything that can, and this lot should have been filled up long ago. States that ought to be represented, geopolitical zones ought to be represented, and then the requisite number. They've been understaffed for a very long time. Yeah, so it's a good move, even if it's coming late in the day. What we need to do is to check. Can't we make it more systemic to say that this sort of shortage shouldn't have even existed in the first place?
Relief as labor leaders suspend a definite strike.
But what's the relief really? And the question is, on what grounds did they suspend the strike? Because I except I'm wrong, I heard what the NSA said. I heard what First Osifo said. They said that the NSA had apologized for what happened in Imo, but they didn't now say that. I don't know, the people who attacked Ajeru, so now are they policemen or are they a so-called mob?
Cyril,
because I didn't.
Suspects have been arrested, so
who
let's
are they?
wait.
Are they policemen or
they are
mob?
going to have their day in court.
That's
what we are told.
The public has every right to know.
Okay.
Why haven't they even paraded them? As they gladly do common people that are sometimes even innocent.
Okay.
Why haven't they paraded them? And the NLC and TUC accepted an apology has been enough to go and call up an indefinite strike.
Shall we go to the nation now? Cano governor, appeal court affirms Abba Yusuf's sack.
That's a big one. I pray Cano does not boil. I sincerely pray Cano does not boil. This thing is a tinderbox.
Cano is a big environmental.
It's a tinderbox, so believe me. Awolowo versus Shagari 1979 was over Cano.
Did it boil? Did it boil over?
No. So it happened in a. So let me just say they cooked it without covering the pot, so it didn't have to boil over. 1993, the problem MKO beat Tofa down to Tofa's street in Kano, and it was news because it wasn't expected. Okay, when Kano has always been the question, so they have to treat Kano. They have to be very careful with what happens in Kano.
All right, I have this one. INEC presents certificates of return to Uzodimma Diri and Ododo.
Yes, rightfully. I think the word came out of my mouth a bit too hastily. Okay. But yes, it's what should be done by law because you've declared them winner, right? If the challengers go to court and anything change, because I mean, what we saw in the name of election, I can't call it an election. I cannot. I'm sorry, I can't refer to what happened in those states as an election. Bayelsa was even a bit better. But Kogi and Imo, they are a far cry. They are a very far cry from truth, a very far cry from electoral civilization, a very far cry from where we want to be.
Whose truth? Your own truth.
Truth is not subjective. Truth is based on facts. The facts that are as we saw them. And in Kogi, people were even begging and saying, why don't we shift this election and wait until, the people who were killed, we've investigated and found out who were killed. What made the IGP to run to Kogi to go and find out what was really going on? The things were not where they ought to be. Voters were, all kinds of things were happening.
All right, the next story. Tinubu cancels 40% IGR deduction from universities. How about that?
If truly he has cancelled it, I wanted to say praise the Lord. It's all well and good, but we now need to ask the question: why did you even attempt it in the first place? Politics must have. I don't know. Why did you attempt it in the first instance? Why? What was the rationale behind it? A government of misplaced priorities. Why did you even attempt it in the first place? Is it that you got wrong advice? You got negative? Why did you even try it in the first place? Our universities are dying, and you want to take money from them that they should not be able to run even basic affairs in those places. Why did you try it in the first place?
More questions, very few answers. Abia begins payment of 8 years' salary arrears of judiciary workers.
Citizens, are you not even personally appalled?
If not flabberwhelmed
and overgasted. I mean, there are things that make even a journalist
sometimes you wonder if these stories are true.
You see, so this is the problem. And this is why journalists cannot always and entirely pretend or now claim that they want to be objective. This thing is glaring. How can people have been owed for 8 solid years or more? And who are the people that you've been owing? Judicial officers.
20 minutes to 8 o'clock, that's the time. Yeah.
Under Ben Ayade in Cross River, the landlord say, I don't care whether you be judge or get out of my house. You've not paid. Yes, now you've not paid rent. So if in that case now somebody comes to pay the rent on behalf of the judge, citizen, and the case now comes before the court, what should he now do? The people who put us in this bad place, may God judge them.
All right, the next story. Why women and girls must report sexual exploration and abuse. First Lady.
If Nigeria cannot judge wrongdoers, God will judge. You know the way Delegua put it back in the day when he was alive. He said, every evil deed done to a man will be redressed. Yeah. If not now, then certainly later. Yeah. If not by man, then certainly by God. For the triumph of evil over good can only be temporal.
The Yorubas have a profound phrase for it. Ashekbamo elewa. That if you hide any bad deed, it's possible. Ashekbekosi, that you won't be recompensed is far.
Yeah. Honestly, the people who have done genuine evil, there are whole streets in this city, in states across Nigeria, whole streets, whole estates that are either owned or have been bought by politicians.
Go to Abia.
Come on. Where was the money? There should be an audit. Where is this former government? There should be an audit of the performance in office. Why is the EFCC not even going after? There should be an audit to say, Oga, come and explain. Why didn't you pay these salaries and this? Why didn't you pay? You see, former governor of Abia came in as an intellectual. One day was saying that they should leave this thing for scholars and intellectuals to go. They said no, they've been there. They've been there. The governor of Abia State, he's an intellectual. Look at, as a boy, I used to follow my father to Ariaria, where he used to go and buy his wares and we go and say, Ariaria, Anyahuru, Cemetery Market, and all these places. In 2019, I was in Abba, I was in Ariaria. The roads.
Abba was the Japan to us in Cross River State of York.
And that potential is still there. Do you know, Citizen Jones, that I was in, so when I was much younger, this was 1996, 95, 94, 97 perhaps, when we used to go to Abba. I was in Abba in 2019, the area market, that road, and the gate, the A-line, the gate, the way it was in the beginning is the way it is now. Or is
and so shall it be.
Now, was the way I saw it in 2019. I couldn't believe my eyes. I saw the people, the traders, we used to meet as children. I was like, you are still in this shop. And they don't.
Cyril, we messed ourselves up.
Come on.
Sometimes you wonder if there's a so-called Nigerian dream. Is there a Nigerian dream?
Look, there could be.
Do we dream?
No, there is. There is. Let me explain it. And it's very simple and easy. And we were on that path. This is the point. The black man began life in Nigeria. No doubt about it. The black man on earth, the black civilization began in Africa, began in Nigeria, yeah. Now, the issue is that being the most populous black nation in the world, it automatically confers a measure of leadership for the black race.
Yeah.
Professor Adedeji, he was the former UN Deputy Secretary General, and Foreign Minister under Obasanjo's military regime. Yeah. So yes. Yeah. Adebayo Adedeji. There was a document the Murtala Mohammed government asked him to produce. It's this question of what should Nigeria be, what should Nigeria do, and he said that Nigeria ought to answer the question of the black man everywhere in the world. You recall that as early as 1961, a year after independence, it was when we began to fight the apartheid regime in South Africa, and the glory of the triumph of the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa actually comes to Nigeria.
Simply, Syria, we have messed
Mozambique,
ourselves up.
Zimbabwe, all the countries that gained independence in Africa, Nigeria was the one who sponsored and trained their guerrilla fighters. People like Mandela and Thabo Mbeki then came to Nigeria to school and to be hidden. So we were supposed to be the mouthpiece of the black race and also set the pace and agenda in terms of our own democracy, our own civilization, to be what they came to copy from. You recall that first act took place in Nigeria also.
Yeah.
77. So automatically, the black man's liberation and freedom ought to be a Nigerian affair. That could have been.
Let me stop you here because some more history will mess people up this morning. It's 7:45, and time to give the microphone to you, the listener. Are you moved by any story or stories we shared? Time for you to react. 0700 903 903 903. Let's get you talking. Crazy some of the stories you read, Cyril.
Unfortunately, we are owing judges for 8 years. No, this is beyond criminal now. May God judge them.
And a government will make to justify it.
May God judge these people who have put us in this mess. May God judge them.
I beg, no pray again.
Good morning, senior citizens. Good morning.
I greet you, sir.
Yeah, it's Nemeka speaking, please.
Nemeka, I greet you. Welcome.
Cyril.
Good morning,
sir.
My
brother.
I salute you. I salute you.
Your analysis this morning, you just sit me down on the table on my chair. First of all, I just greet my foreign hero, Dr. Nandas Kiwe, where he is. I just greet him. I wish we can get somebody like that again in Nigeria.
Nemeka, have you heard a crazy thing? Like, but Ndigbo does not seem to identify with Zeke. I don't know. You don't hear that before?
But that one cannot stop him being who he is. You understand me? Like, we follow his policy, by now we will not be like this as a country. Like, we follow most of the policy he keep down for us. We cannot be like this as a country. But first of all, my take go to the people that is chasing after investors. Do your country, make your country be honey. You attract bees. Let your country be honey. It will attract bees.
Very true, sir.
You never say to your home in order. You are going to call somebody to come and buy it.
You are raising your voice. No vex, pass us.
Oh, sorry, sir. This country, sometimes they make me get angry every day.
All right, your 60 seconds are up. Thank you very kindly.
Citizen Jones.
Yeah.
Lagos was not part of the old Western region back in the day. I imagine that a Zeke.
Look, Lagos na federal.
And Zeke was the person in charge. People like T.O.S. Benson, Adeniro Ogunsoya, I think Folake Solanke, Oloru Nimbe. Yeah. We are all Zeke's boys in politics.
Adeniro Ogunsoya, I remember.
We are all Zeke's boys.
Okay. Another caller here. Good morning to you.
Hello, Mr. Citizen. Good morning.
I greet you, sir. Your name, where you're calling from?
Yeah, I'm Ibeto, calling from Tulare.
Ibeto. Welcome.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Thank you so much. Actually, I'm calling to in fact, commend all of you for the history that you have just given to us. Because one of the reasons we're talking about is these histories are so forgotten. These histories have so much impact in today's livelihood. So I think there is need for us to see, bring back some of these histories that will help us to, put ourselves together. The Okonkwo he mentioned is from my hometown. His house is very close to Ojukwu's house, or Beg Ojukwu's house. Okay? So
your hometown is where?
Newi.
Newi, okay.
Of course.
Okay.
That's where I come from. So I know his house. That Okonkwo Cano. I know his house. Very close to Ojukwu's house. So what I'm saying in essence is this. I just thought to commend you for this kind of history you're bringing out for us to know much more about.
We are doing our job. That's all.
That's fantastic, my brother.
Yeah.
I really commend you.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah. 0700 903 903 903. What do you think of the stories we have shared with you? Do you believe them? Are you swayed by them? Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Eskimo calling from Ojukwu.
Did you say Eskimo?
No, Destiny.
Destiny, I greet you. Welcome. Let's go.
Good morning, sir. I greet your guests in the house.
Good morning to you.
Virtually. You see, the military has fucked us up all. The military has betrayed this country for a long time.
Which story? We know so which story caught your fancy?
Yes, story. This is a story. Going to outside country to call an investor to come to your country. Then you are still making Boko Haram, the sentence Boko Haram, and you are paying them salary. How do you want people to have mind to come to your country?
They not pay Boko Haram salary, I beg you. Please. They not pay Boko Haram salary. I know hear that story at all anyway. Please.
Okay.
No.
Then now look at it. Hello?
Yeah, Ibeto.
Yeah. All of us know this thing we are seeing in this country. Nobody is a blind man. Except we want to pretend that we don't know. Where?
All right, you are done. You are done. 0700 903 903 903. We have shared the stories. Which of them, which particular one caught your fancy? How do you react to it? We have a caller here. Good morning to you.
Good morning, John.
Yes, sir. But put out your radio. Keep your radio away from it, please.
Okay. Good morning, Joe.
Yeah.
And
also my beloved brother over there.
Good morning to you, sir.
I appreciate your
name is
I'm Mr. Clement. I call from my 12.
Clement. 60 seconds. Let's go.
Okay. Please, I just want to say that a country called Nigeria, to my own understanding, the way politicians are taking it is no more. It's just like a jungle. Now, we heard yesterday that in Malawi, the president of Malawi has shut down everything concerning his travel and all his cabinet just to get the country in order. But in our own country here, our president is moving from one country to another, and most of his cabinet also are moving with him. And they have not even had a plan to get down this problem and the suffering that the masses are into. In fact, it is quite uncalled for. I just see this place called Nigeria as a jungle. Actually, Zekes tried his best to unite Nigeria and other leaders, but they have now flooded all the effort of our hero past. Our past heroes, they have just flooded it. It's no more what we plan it to be or what we're expecting it to be.
60 seconds. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. We can squeeze in one more call before we call it a day. Hello, good morning to you.
Oh, good morning, Stephen from Ikeja.
Yeah.
Stephen Jones, you're talking of elections. I just came from Imo State. For me, that was not an election. I don't know why we continue to 35,000 military police every election cycle. At the end of the day, they do nothing. And each booth of this election, each booth was given 800,000 naira per election. The police, the military, they are all there watching. They didn't do nothing. 800,000.
How much did you yourself get?
So what?
How much did you get yourself?
What I got was my junior brother, who was a Labour Party campaign director, was kidnapped. I paid 8 million naira ransom to release him. Nigeria, we're in trouble. Yeah, we're in trouble. It's a very horrible. It's an experience that I don't even wish my enemy that. It's a horrible situation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. Cyril, we must go.
Let me quickly add to
Cyril, we must go.
Okay, great.
Take 30 seconds.
Okay, great. Let me ask, if you are not happy with the way things are in the country today, the question is, if the elections were to, just speaking from the mind, if the elections were to hold again today, would you vote differently? That's a question for thought. Good morning, everyone.
All right. Our next show is at 8 o'clock, some 5 minutes away. Please stick around. This is the Voice of the People Radio, 90.3 FM on your dial.
Are you looking for the perfect getaway?
Look no further than the luxurious accommodations at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, Lagos, number 42, Muritala Muhammad International Airport Road, Lagos.
Relax and unwind in a beautifully appointed rooms featuring all the amenities you need for a comfortable stay.
Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, our attentive staff is here to ensure that your everyday need is met. We also offer complimentary pick-up and drop-off from the Lagos airport.
Take advantage of our state-of-the-art fitness center, outdoor pool, and enjoy a delicious meal at our on-site restaurant.
With stunning views, world-class service, and a prime location, Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, Lagos is the perfect choice for your next vacation or business trip.
So, why wait? Book your stay today and experience ultimate in comfort and luxury at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel.
For bookings and reservations, please call 0815-8003-333 or 0815-7003-333. You can visit our website at airportgoldentuliphotel.com.
Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, where luxury meets comfort.
The award-winning pizza in the US is now here in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Romeo, the pizza champions, and Coldberry ice cream. Delight in every scoop. Visit any of our outlets and feel the rich taste from the pizza champions and Coldberry ice cream at 11 Road by First Avenue, First Town, 28 at Denira Ogunsanya Street, Surulere, 13 Admiralty Way, Lekki Phase 1. Romeo's Pizza and Coldberry ice cream. Romeo, the pizza champions. Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah, we are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafday Line Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Preseno's digital mixers and studio equipment, Coswell workstations and keyboards, Fender guitars, Mapex drums, Ashdown bass combos, just to mention but a few. We offer flexible payment plan handled by our financial department with 24/7 customer care support system. You can visit our website on www.iruka.com to avoid buying fake products. You can also visit our showroom at number 36 Lagos International Airport Road beside Golden Tulip Hotel. Iruka
pointed out that the significance of opposition in nation running or nation building is as old as democracy itself. It ensures the accountability of government and preserves its institutions. Our collective experience in the fledgling Fourth Republic leaves a very sour taste in the mouth. For a democracy as young as ours, a multi-party system and solid opposition preempts a return to authoritarian rule. Nigeria's opposition politician and candidate of the PDP in the just concluded 2023 presidential elections, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, has charged opposition parties to form a coalition against the ruling party, APC, saying the ruling party was turning Nigeria into a dictatorship or of a one party. But a cursory look at the two frontline opposition parties, namely the PDP and the Labour Party, tells me all is not well. Whereas the PDP appears to be atomistic, constantly divided against itself, the LP is factionalized, with Julius Abure and Lamidi Apapa tugging at it from both ends. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar knows his formula is a holy ritual. While the opposition is messing around, the ruling APC is enjoying a dry life, and the country is asphyxiating. Shall we have a conversation here? And my two discussants, Cyril Abaku is a broadcaster and communications expert. Cyril, thank you. I had to draft you into this. Good morning, welcome.
A very good morning to you, Citizen Joe.
Yeah, Ojukwu Ezukama is a town planner by training. He's a biographer and a political commentator. Ojukwu, I greet you too.
Good morning, Citizen Jones.
Opposition politics in Nigeria, weighing in on the Atiku formula.
Weighing in on the Atiku formula. The Atiku formula, it's wonderful. The attempt to unify the opposition, the different opposition groups into one formidable opposition group, the opposition unit. That's wonderful in itself, but the question is, what's the motivation? The opposition is central to democracy. You cannot talk democracy without talking opposition. The opposition, like I've always said, is like a mirror. You look into the mirror, it shows you certain things about yourself that you may not have ordinarily seen.
More like looking at the man in the mirror.
Yeah, looking at yourself in the mirror. Your mirror can show you that there's oil by your mouth, there's dirt by your shirt. So the mirror actually helps you. The same does the opposition do. But then it would take some streak of lunacy for a man to break the mirror because the mirror showed him something unfavorable about himself. Similarly, it's tyranny, it's authoritarianism to fight the opposition for telling you something about yourself you may not have known. So opposition is extremely important in democracy, and unifying the opposition, making them more formidable, it's very good too. There's been series of such attempts in the past.
Okay.
There was the APGA. APGA was unification of opposition.
APGA in those days.
APGA in the First Republic, yes.
Second Republic.
And then in the Second Republic, there was an attempt at PPA to unify the opposition against NPN.
At the time.
Which failed. And now APC itself is the unification of opposition that successfully at a point wrestled power from
it included the APGA of today.
Yes.
ANP,
yes. ACN. And CPC, yes. Okay, so it's really wonderful. But
PDP
then,
too.
Part sections of it. But the thing is that we worry about...
Ojukwu, let's make some money.
Yes.
We are going on a commercial break. Please stay with us.
All right.
Yes, so my country people, wherever we are day, it happen tomorrow. I mean, they invite you now. Your beloved sister, Mrs. Chikweze Antonia Adama, a non-land global ambassador. It happen tomorrow for Castro Restaurant, where they inside Super Saver Supermarket, where they for Agok Palace Way, Okota, Lagos State. By 12 noon tomorrow, Saturday, 18th November. Now it happen. Don't forget say my number now 07037405082 07082445668 07082445668. Don't forget say I be no last stockings. So all the non product you want, original non product, I get them. I go supply you. And also many things there, better things there. Healthcare, how you go take they make money every week in dollars. I go teach you.
Benin, was it Edo or Delta back then in the old Western region? Anyway, Edo. That he had been a member of the Zekes movement, and that Zeke was the flamboyant mobilizer. He made very great speeches, but when he came to Lagos, he began as a young school leaver. He began to attend parliamentary sittings, and began to notice that the other party called the Action Group was, according to him, was a little better organized, a little more ideologically distinct, a little more. So he actually made that switch from being an NCNSer to being an AGist, as it were. That's to describe what Sage saw in the days of yore.
Yeah.
Yes. But even at that, there are those who felt that Awo was only playing to the gallery. I wasn't there, so I really can't say. In the Second Republic, Awo now had the UPN. Those same people who were in the NPC government of the First Republic had is it reincarnated? They are regrouped into the NPN, which had Shagari, the likes of Shagari. Ekweme also had come to join that fold. Yes. Now once again, Awolowo's UPN came to be the arrowhead of opposition. Good. But because of course the generation that populated the First Republic also populated largely the Second Republic. Once that age had come to an end, by the Third, Fourth Republic, imagine the propaganda and the kind of publicity that the APC or the ACN baptized Nigerians with. At the time, 2014, the president drank a cup of water before he dropped the cup on the table. Like Mohammed had issued a public statement condemning, criticizing, condemning, rejecting, condemning, including when they wanted to organize a national confab to fashion out a new paper for Nigeria. The ACN initially said they were not interested in it. Now, after everything that they did, some PDP governors joined the ACN, CPC joined in, ANP joined in, all the parties joined in. When they now formed their own government, everything that they had said was not right that the other government had done was what they began to do, even in worse forms, systematically, including removing fuel subsidy, including naming the national state in Abuja after MKO. So we realized that the so-called opposition had only been a vehicle for getting power. but that when they came to power, they were not going to be any different from whatever it was that they had been fighting for. Sorry, fighting against. The same thing we're seeing it playing out now. The issue is this. Chinua Achebe said one time that the trouble with Nigeria was simply or squarely a failure of leadership. I totally agree with him, and we can partially modify that argument to say that the trouble with Nigeria is simply or squarely the failure of its politics.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it very closely, our parties don't have values. Our parties don't have what they stand for, no philosophy, no ideology. That's why one person can be the presidential candidate of one party in 1999, and by 2003 he is the presidential candidate of the opposition. By 2007 he is in the other party. By 2011 he is in the other party. They change parties like no man's business. What an opposition ought to be is supposed to be an alternative. For example, in the 80s, when Shagari come and gives his budget speech, by the following morning, Awolowo has presented a counter budget speech. The following morning,
that was opposition.
Opposition with tables and saying they plan to do it this way, we plan to do it this way, this other way. Do you know that as of 1979, Awolowo had written Nigeria's development plan? He wrote it by himself. How they were going to achieve.
Do you remember right from the Gowon days, we used to have development plans for
rolling plan. As a matter of fact, records have it that Awolowo actually used to give Gowon account of how government was spent every morning.
He was the finance minister.
Every morning he asked him, this is what we've spent, see what we've got every morning. Today now they say it's impossible.
Accountability.
But this is where I'm even going to. As of 79, he had already written out how much Nigeria was going to spend on free education. He had done population, projections and everything. And to the last kobo, free health, free education. So that is what you call opposition. It's not about the fact that, in fact, and he would say, even if he doesn't become president, he didn't care. But that the government should
you are sounding like the opposition.
No,
tame your voice.
Okay. I'll try. He would say that he would say the reason why he's releasing these documents is because even if he won't be the one to implement it, let them pick it and let them sit and pick a cue and take a cue from it. Opposition is about values. It's not about we must take power by ourselves. It's about the fact that we're providing an alternative. Let the people see. Let government also see and learn. So when politics becomes a marketplace of ideas and values and philosophies, we become better as a society. It's not even primarily a matter of we versus them. But what we have today in Nigeria is a case of we want to get this power by all means. So what our opposition leaders do today is blackmail, propaganda, mudslinging, politics of inches.
Yes.
Just drag them and get anything you can get.
And because they have nothing else to offer. They don't have the intellectual bent. They don't have their political ideology, no political philosophy. So what do you expect them to do? But then you find it that the masses find it interesting, because if the people are asking serious and pointed questions, then you can't just do that. The thing you made a point that Zeke was flamboyant, and what the thing Zeke did is that he took knowledge to the streets.
He did.
Yeah, his grammar, his style of speaking, his diction,
his delivery,
the consanity of his speeches motivated a lot of young people. They wanted to be like him.
Yes.
But apart from that, Enehoro made a point that when he left NCNC why he left NCNC to Action Group was the discipline in Action Group.
Yes.
The
organization.
The organization in Action and the stress on intellectualism. You just can't, you shape up or you shape out, and the serious ideological leaning. The coup plotters, interestingly, Fajuna, Nzogu and co, when they plotted their coup, wanted to go to jail at Calabar, bring Awolowo out and make him the prime minister. Because they also saw that discipline, that organization about him, the philosophical, the intellectual about him. They saw him as the right man to handle Nigeria. And you talked about Professor Isega saying the same. thing. Yes, the white man left so much goodies for us. But it's like, how did the Bible say? You don't leave certain things. I don't really remember, but there's a lot of good things for us. We destroyed them, abused them, threw them away, and turn around and blame the white man.
Now you have talked about the Bible. I think this quotation, the only pastor here is Cyril. He will understand where I'm coming from. Christ
eyes
said,
have not seen and ears have not heard. Is that not so?
No, not
what
quite.
Good.
No. When Christ said, "Then go collect,"
He did not mean it that way, citizen Jones. We don't clear this thing before.
Then go take from those who no get and add to those who get, so that the rich will be richer
and the poor will be poor.
Good.
The point I'm
hold
making.
on, listen.
Listen to the only pastor. All right.
The one way you talk now. That's what the opposition politicians are doing in Nigeria today. I hope you know.
Yeah.
Because Christ didn't mean it that way.
Yeah.
What Christ was saying was that when you fail to use what you have, those who are more disciplined and wiser, of course, will you become their servant. Now in Nigeria today, is it not the same people that were shouting opposition that have come to take from the poor? They've made Nigerians poorer. The president came and said on D-Day that subsidy was gone. Meanwhile, you are granting waivers to the big men. How does that even happen? How does that work? In 2012, Jonathan wanted to take away something.
So that the rich will be richer.
So don't blame Jesus Christ. Blame the president and blame the politicians.
20 past 8 for your time check. Go on.
But in the strict sense of the word, there's really no opposition in Nigeria.
There isn't.
They are the same people wearing different labels.
Exactly.
Yeah, and to make sense of what they are doing, they just mudsling because they lack the intellectual capacity, they lack the enlightenment, they lack the knowledge. So what are they going to?
Is it about a lack here, or an unwillingness to do what's
right? A dereliction.
No. Well, you lack it. That's why you can't do it, or you can't do it because you lack it. You can't have it and be willing to do it and not do it. So it's a lack. The average Nigerian is ignorant. During the days of Abacha versus Abiola, the many people talking Abiola, talking democracy, I realized did not know the difference between parliamentary democracy and presidential style democracy. You see a man with a master's degree and a PhD, and he didn't understand what is ceremonial president and vice president. What does that really mean? You're trying to explain. He cannot understand because we do not read. We find reading,
or because we are impatient.
No, we don't.
An impatient people?
No, we don't read. We find reading as something unpleasant that you do to pass an exam, and after the exam you throw away your books and keep boasting about the degrees you have. I am PhD, but you've not opened a book in the last 10 years.
Your country has become heavily certificated.
It's the certificate you have, not the knowledge you have, not what you're bringing on board, not what you can contribute. So the white man's legacy was still there in the days of the First and Second Republic. But after the white man left, and then the oil boom came, and it became about money. Success must be quantified or identified in terms of money. What are you bringing on board? You tell a woman, I love you, in her mind, I've been a him, I go chop. So everything must be expressed materially, monetarily. So that's why we're in this state. We bungled up.
So if you, Cyril will be home to this. If you consider the saying of George Orwell, of course, the author of Animal Farm. You know, our country is not different from the Animal Farm.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But when George Orwell said, a people who keep electing folks who mess them up cannot be said to be victims, but collaborators.
Nigerian masses are victims, not collaborators.
Are we victims?
We are. Let me give an example, Citizen Jones. The UPN, that is going back to Awolowo. When they wanted to have a party convention, a party congress of, let's say, 7 days, they spent the first 5 days debating policy. How many of us can afford to do that today?
Who has the patience?
That's why you will find fewer and fewer people who will say, who can open their mouth and say they are woists. you won't have them anymore. In another 10 years, you can walk the system and say you at random that you can find an awoist in that
mold.
In that orthodox sense. It will be difficult to find. Now, but I want us to come back home to the matter on the table, Atiku's call. Because for us to be able to situate what Atiku is saying, we must understand who Atiku himself is. Atiku himself has been the poster child, in my view, of the kind of political, is it rigmarole role or political move about that you
waka about
the political walkaboutism that you can associate with the average Nigerian politician. He has been in the PDP, he has been in the AC, he has been in the APC, back in the PDP, and I'm not saying this because he moved once or twice. He has moved in and out, in and out, in and out. That's why I call it walkaboutism. So for me, it depicts some sort of lack of principle, lack of ideology, lack of values, and a rabid penchant for seizing power.
For its sake.
For its own sake. Let me give you an example. Atiku as a person does not, in my thinking, have the impulse or instinct of a natural politician. How much more opposition politician? Look at President Tinubu, for example. No matter what you want to say about him, he knew where to draw the lines. He knew it. You see, it didn't matter whether he became president or not. When he was in AD, he was fighting Obasanjo. He became AC. It was just him and Lagos State alone. He was in the trenches. He was fighting. In 2015, whether he was going to win or not, it didn't matter. He still, sort of sided with the APC. Whether they won or not was not even the issue.
Playing politics.
Play as it were, playing politics. Whether everybody agrees with him or not was not even the issue. At least he stood. It's clear. I mean, you
had something to stand for. Even if you don't agree with him, yes.
If whether I was going to pay him or not didn't matter. Whether even he himself was enjoying it or not didn't matter. But he stood for something. Now,
So when he said Emilokon, he didn't. You were not surprised.
It sounded as if he had paid his price. So I mean, it was not his turn.
Ojukwu, you understand what Emilokon means?
Yeah, it's my turn.
Okay.
Between 2015 and 2019, and between 2019 and 2023, but let me come to 2023. Mr. Atiku was in Dubai. He was not in Nigeria. Nigerians were crying. People, things were not working well. 2019, he ran on he ran with a P2B, and after the election, we didn't see him again. We didn't hear from him. Opposition politics is not something you do in 4 years. You build it over time.
Yeah.
You mark yourself out as somebody who is credible. Mr. Atiku and Mr. Tinubu, who does not know their marriage in the past? They are best of friends. Is it now when after the president won the election, he now started going to look for evidence in America and all these places? He was fighting the CSU case. He was fighting. Maybe the president was begging. I don't know, because we had all kinds of things. So I'm saying this in order to make the viewer know that I'm not taking sides.
The listener.
The listener know that say I have no dog in the fight. He fought it, to the teeth. He fought to the very end. When he got what maybe he was looking for, he came back to Nigeria. The Supreme Court has ruled and said, Mr. President, carry go. He is now resorting to the last thing he knows is possibly. Is it because it's Tinubu, or because he really means to fight opposition politics? Because it's not easy. He should have been fighting this in 2019. But he didn't. So we don't know why he's saying this now, where he's coming from, what he really wants to achieve.
So essentially, you give me the impression he wants to be seen as the only cock that crows.
Look, this is
and it's against the run of nature.
You're putting it very, very, very figuratively.
Okay.
This is the thing. What I think Atiku should have done is
should do. Is it too late?
No. I think it's one and the same thing. What he should do is to recreate the PDP into a proper opposition fighting force. Let them begin as a party, and then with time look for a willing coalition, or looking for willing partners or parties to the project, like Tinubu did. Begin with the AC, stand in it, make it into ACN, stand on it still, So let people see that, and that may even be his legacy to Nigerian politics and in terms of his contribution. But the way I hear the announcement being made, it doesn't sound to me like it sounds like I don't know how to put it. Let's let the LP come on board, let the federal party come on board, so that we will fight and stop the APC. That's not really what opposition party should be about. That could be part of it, but that's not that. But that should really be the core. The core should be, and Atiku did it in the past. In fairness to him, both from Buhari to Obasanjo to Jonathan and so on, Atiku was the only person who years ago developed a document called My Covenant with Nigeria. With Nigeria, it's a full document on restructuring. But I'm not sure he even campaigned with it in 2019 or 2023.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
Ojukwu, yes. In America, as we sit here, Donald Trump has not given up. He wants to succeed Joe Biden.
Yes.
And the election in America is not until November next year. So the heat is on
already.
So now you know the Republican Party is remaining a constructive opposition to the Democratic Party.
Yeah, continuously.
So you don't drop the ball.
No.
You know that's,
I'm picking up after 4 years.
Yes.
No. Yes.
You don't act on impulse.
It's been a problem with Nigerian politicians in general, not even with PDP. It's like after the elections, everything fizzles out, and then about 4 years later, they pick up and start their campaigning, which I think it's the wrong way to go about it.
What has come to mind is Winston Churchill's statement. He said many years ago, a politician needs the ability to foretell what is going to happen tomorrow, next week, next month, and next year, and to have the ability afterwards to explain why it didn't happen. So
that's clairvoyance.
Yes. So
prophetic powers.
And politicians would tell you what is true, even though unpopular. But politicians would tell you what is popular, even though it's untrue. We have all those things here, Cyril and Ojukwu.
Tell you what is unpopular, even if it's untrue, and tell you what is true, even if it's
unpopular. And you have all that here.
Yeah, we have all we have them all in the Nigerian mix. The Nigerian mix is interesting, a very interesting mix. But the point is that in some countries of the world, people are a little more honest and a little more selfless. In Nigeria, it's the greed, the cupidity, and the self-centeredness and the dishonesty. Crudity, yeah, pre-Stone Age crudity. That is the problem. And in some countries, people can, to a considerable extent, trust their politicians and leaders. But in Nigeria, our politicians and leaders have repeatedly, continuously dashed our hopes, betrayed our trusts. So we can't trust them.
Let me underscore what you have just said by stating that the more you observe politics in our country, the more you've got to admit that each party is worse than the other.
Each party is worse than the other.
If you understand what I'm saying.
You know that where we are today, for example, the former governor of my state, Rivers, Nyesom Wike, there was a particular headline that said he was the leader of the APC and the PDP in Rivers State.
Two parties.
That's a paradox there.
He was the leader of the APC.
But because there's no difference between the two parties. They're just the same people wearing different labels
in him.
So sorry. You remember when you talk about Wike today, your mind should go to the late Bola Ige. Bola Ige was an AD man, but appointed as a minister by a PDP president Obasanjo, if you remember.
Yeah, but he was just appointed to serve. He didn't get him into the politicking. Look at Wike's politicking. He's disruptive.
Don't you remember it divided opinion in the country?
It divided, yeah. But Ige was called to come and serve. But look at the disruptive politics of Wike in
So, for example, Chief,
in Rivers State, they just disrupted PDP. So Wike is it's not exactly the same. It was more of forming a government of national unity than that many presidents did in the past.
That's Wike.
No. I mean,
Obasanjo
and Ige. But this man is a confused Confucianist.
And when Bola Ige was unfortunately killed in circumstances,
mysterious circumstances,
yeah,
assassinated.
Yes, nothing happened.
And they could identify the killer. Still nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Yes.
So is that politics?
That's criminality. That's refusal of the police to do its work, their ability to enforce the law.
So you get the impression our politicians have become Machiavellian by choice, and you by all means and any means.
By all means, yes. You made an interesting point about Awo, that Awolowo said, this is the blueprint for my politics, the blueprint for my economic plans for the country.
If you so desire.
Even if I don't get to be the president, whoever becomes the president, can you please implement this? We don't see that coming from Atiku. It's like Atiku, it's me or nobody else. And he once said, as long as I am alive, I will keep running. So why are you running? To grab power as an end in itself.
He said, for those who think this is my last bus stop, go think again.
Because he's coming back. But he has not told us.
What arrogance?
He has not told us
that's
precisely.
Arrogance?
Of course, it's arrogance.
But he knows your system.
It's indiscretion.
The system.
Serious indiscretion, sir.
Yeah. Lack of.
You see, when I was referring to the problem with one that somebody was the leader of the opposition and the ruling party in the state, it's really laughable, but it's equally pathetic. How could that be the case? Mr. Wike was the sole architect of the president's victory in Rivers State. Okay, so the president wins in Rivers. That is against his own political party, the PDP.
Against the run of play, as they say.
Then his own party won the governorship. Now he's in Abuja. The president said that Wike is not just a minister, that Wike is one of his counselors, that Wike is one of his advisors. More like saying his kitchen cabinet. So clearly, and then Wike said before he accepted the ministerial nomination, he wrote to the party, and that the party approved that that the party was aware, the people was aware. I never seen this kind of thing before.
Well, you remember when he dared
your right hand.
Ojukwu, remember, he dared the PDP.
He did.
In the build-up to the convention of the party, it was to have held somewhere else. But he said, if it didn't come to Port Harcourt, forget it. And
the Port Harcourt it came. And he said, then he said, even if the PDP's building is in the wrong place, I will demolish it. And
you use the word Machiavellian because that's what he's dramatizing.
Let's take a case study, as they say in research, a case study of how opposition politics, maybe where it has worked, and how ours is a far cry from what it is. You are talking about America before now, the Republican versus the Democrat. You know that as soon as a Republican is coming into office, they may spend less on defense, but they'll use the military more. They will cut taxes for the rich.
Because there's an ideology, there's philosophy, political philosophy.
Immediately they are coming, you know that they're going to cut taxes for the rich, hoping that the rich will invest,
yes,
and create more jobs. When it comes to values, in terms of social values, you know that
they're more conservative.
Yes, they're more conservative. They are evangelical in nature. When it comes to the Democrats, you can be sure what is going to happen.
Yeah.
Now the question is, look at the PDP and look at the APC. Which is which from which?
Same difference.
But they keep switching. They are the same people just switching around.
Which is which from which?
And how many?
If you switch off the button, if you turn the switch up and down, now the same light you go get.
But
they are the same.
But the thing is this: what of the Nigerian middle class? What of our activists who can raise the political bar?
I said earlier on.
Who can mobilize the masses
let me
against these political shenanigans?
Let me help you.
So Where are they? Because, like I said earlier, the masses cannot get their masses cannot get anything done unless they are directed strategically.
Now,
these people that are supposed to.
Are you an Aluta man?
I'm not an Aluta man.
Allow
the Aluta man.
I'm not an Aluta man. Many years ago, maybe not up to 10, but quite some years ago.
Yes.
A now leading member of one of the major labor unions, one of the leaders at the highest echelons.
Okay.
I had a conversation with him, and he said, Cyril, the problem is that any society where the liberal class, what you call the middle class, the liberal class has been captured, that society is doomed.
Captured by what? By who?
No. In Nigeria's own case, what you call the middle class, you see, I don't know for you, but when last did you open your newspapers, for example, and found a sound, dispassionate, unbiased article written by somebody who was writing out of his own passion to have a new Nigeria? You used to write in the past. Maybe you've stopped now.
I still do write.
You've stopped.
You're reading my old articles, but I still write.
I'm not aware of that.
The man tells you there's still ink in his pen.
The activists,
yes,
the so-called activists. Were you not amazed that as of 2014, 2015, they were very vocal, very active?
Yes.
Doctors for change, lawyers for change, accountants for change, architects for change. They were everywhere. They swarmed the whole place. When the president wanted to remove subsidy unceremoniously,
yes,
where did they turn? You didn't see any of them.
No, nobody said a word.
Nobody said a word. You know what that told me? All these so-called activists, they've been captured. That's what it means.
Okay, co-opted.
Even the so-called 2014 Ojukwu stuff was from one man's bedroom. Most like that, it was being scripted. It was not scripted. How do I know? Governor Kadefahimi has come to now tell us that what happened at Ojukwu in 2015 was politics.
All right, 19 minutes to 9. That's the time.
Yes. It was politics. It was not because that. It wasn't because subsidy didn't have to go.
It was opposition politics.
It was just politics. No, there's opposition politics. It would have even been better because they would have offered an alternative. The other alternative, it was just to make the president look bad. That was why they did what they did. So tell me, a country where politicians can play with the destinies of the people in such a way just to get personal gain, how will it grow? And so that middle class you're talking about
reminds me of the saying that a government should be afraid of the people, not the people being afraid of government.
But you see, so I asked somebody, I said, you are you are an activist. What is happening to you and your friends? A lot of things are happening. You people are not saying anything. The senator who shouted and said that we fought against this subsidy. Buhari can't remove subsidy this way. Did he get the second term? He didn't get the second term.
Sani,
he didn't get the second term. The man said, Cyril, social, what's that thing that they call it now? There's a name they call it.
Social crusaders.
He said it's not what it used to be again. It's not what you think it is. All those things were being funded from the pocket of one man. It wasn't being done out of people's altruistic. So today, if he sniffs, they will cough.
And in the past, we had Nigerian Medical Association opposed to the government or making their case against the government.
During the military.
You have NBA.
Yes.
You have so many of those civil rights activists.
Yeah.
They ran some cuties. Yeah. Those are dead. These people were sewing cars.
Yeah.
But these days, nobody's saying a word.
Nobody's anything, no, because
nobody won't die now.
Nobody won't die. It's just that they got co-opted.
Ojukwu, nobody won't die. And death will not necessarily death will not necessarily come from a bullet. If you starve to death, it is the worst form of death.
The masses will die if you give them reasons to die. All these IPOB guys running around fighting the police, ready to die. Where were they before Nnamdi Kanu came? The people need to be led, and once you lead them, they follow. They follow sheepishly. They don't think. But it's those leaders, because the masses don't lead themselves. Mandela was a lawyer when he started his movement. Martin Luther King Jr. had PhD in theology. So it's not one of the masses that lead the masses. It's the middle class.
Malcolm X.
Yes.
Malcolm X was somebody too. So, so where are the middle class?
The weaponization of poverty, all right, has pushed the middle class into survival mode.
Okay.
Are they not the ones who are now jackpotting almost every day? Doctors, journalists, lawyers, people who ought be to
the opposite of jackpot is jackpada. Just
they will not jackpot in a long time. They're not going to jackpot down.
All right, folks. We are done talking. Well, I know many people are wont to say things like radio. They talk. We talk grammar and so on. It's called social engineering. We must help mold opinion.
Talking.
Nothing else. Because we don't have bullets. It's time for you to now talk. Do the talking. Do you feel up to sharing your opinion? Why not? Opposition politics in Nigeria. Weighing in on the Atiku formula. If you feel up to saying anything about it, why not? 090-700 903 903 903. A first caller is here. Good morning again. Hello, are you there?
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Your name, where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm Moses Warrior coming from the last time.
All right, 60 seconds. Let's go.
Good morning again, Mrs. Jones and Sarah, the other man in the city.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
I want to a little bit differ with say comment on Atiku.
Okay.
After all, Abraham Lincoln contested up to 5 times in USA before he finally won the election. And all the political...
but let me make a quick correction too. Let me make a quick correction. Abraham Lincoln did not change parties. Go on.
Yes, I know. I'm talking about how many times he said people have contested. That's the point. I'm not talking moving from party to party.
I am also stating a point. Go on.
Yes. He contested. He did not move from party to party. He contested up to 5 times before he finally won the election. The point I want to stress is that I think we need a stronger opposition party, and not only PDP and Labour Party, but about SDP and the rest. The point is that, like what he said, the journalists, the civil society group, they are part of the opposition. And then the journalists should do us well, because sometimes they are the ones that are giving us information. If you tell us the programs and the what this government has in stock for us, if you're able to brief us, then also criticize the government, because the journalists, civil society group, the political parties are part of the opposition parties. Even though they are not party, but they are part of the opposition.
Except that the journalists don't manufacture anything. We report what we see and what we hear.
That is why the journalists should go into investigate journalism. It is not the political party. The politician will tell them what to write, and they will give us all the nonsense. Some of them are nonsense. The journalists will go deep and give us the like what Jenny Giver was doing before. Even I was a student then. We picked Newsworld magazine to read, even the old ones.
All right.
So that's our teacher was taught us. So please, some of us, the journalists are not blaming you, because you are trying to understand this very station.
Yeah, thank you.
So the journalism is very, very important to give us all the knowledge, review issue, bring all the program of the government. So I want to commend you for what you are doing. I'm not criticizing, but you're very good. You are doing good. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Begs the question of, do Nigerians read? Do they listen?
Mm-hmm.
If they hear, does it
make any difference?
Any difference? Are they not content with what they are going through because of the promise of a better tomorrow? Just a minute. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. Your name, sir?
Yeah, Ben, calling from Apapa.
All right, Ben, 60 seconds. Let's go.
I've listened to some of your comments and discussions concerning articles called for strong opposition. Atiku as a person, I think, have tried his own way, and they wanted to rule Nigeria. Unfortunately, it has not been coming forth. But the issue is this: if there must be an opposition, who is going to be the arrowhead? Who is going to be the person? Because bringing an opposition, for example, the CPs and the AC that brought to Buhari, they had an understanding, MOU, and that was why Buhari won the election. If a house is not united, that house must collapse. There must be somebody must front, somebody that people will accept. It's not all about him. If he's calling for position because he wants to be the president, they might not get it right. They must to look at somebody that is acceptable by the masses, and all of them will unite together. Whether not me or not you, but what you want, somebody that will stand and drag power out of the present party.
Yes, sir.
Well, another thing is that government. Another thing is that even if you're having an opposition, how strong is that opposition against the judiciary, against the legislature, against the INEC? Because these are the people that are deciding election. No matter how strong the opposition is, if these three people are not stemmed, definitely that opposition might not work. Because why opposition AC and CPC worked was because Jonathan was just a human being.
Thank you. We got you first time. Yeah.
All right.
0700 903 903 903. 10 minutes to go. We have another caller here.
Yeah. Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is Mr. Akajaj. I'm calling from Okota.
Okay, now let's go.
Yeah, Mr. Chinjo, good morning, sir.
I agree to
in the studio.
Good morning.
Please, I will start by saying that activists that you said you don't know, so none of them they are no more talking again. You see, when APC came in, there was a law that they imposed on us, which made us to shut their mouth down. They said hate speech. Now, once we are talking against the people in power, it means that you hate them. Even if you are giving them a better suggestion, they will take it as if because you hate them, now you are making that your opposition speech. That one is gone. Then I think it is another party to come and join, to come and form a formidable party so they can take power from us. It cannot work. You see, the truth of the matter is that same people will restructure this our constitution. This fraudulent constitution that they get to us. This thing cannot work. How can you expect INEC chairman to work against his employer? Somebody that employs you want to work against him. No matter what, it cannot happen. So except they come together. Let them give us a better constitution. That is when things can work. Thank you. That's my constitutional contribution.
Many thanks. 0700 903 903 903. Opposition politics in Nigeria, weighing in on the Atiku formula. Do you have any contribution to make? Why not? We are listening. We are all ears. Good morning to you.
Good morning once again.
Yeah.
My greeting to your humble guest.
Good morning.
I did two of them.
Am I speaking with
all right.
Go on.
Please, Jones, article call is a welcome one, but the situation of the country does not need any major anymore, because this current government March 2014.
Okay.
The March 2014, and look at where we are today. So anything that got to do with this old image that brought us in this place where we are today, we got nothing to do with them. Atiko and the Kwankwasu, if they love this country, they should bring fresh-minded ones that have vision for good reason for the country, not two of them. And the Misobi where I stand here, it's not much with anybody. Because there's something I learned when we are growing. If somebody they do a cantoto, somebody where they pick something, where they steal, and you begin let your children to near the person. Before you find out, you are picking go see stealing like him.
Thank you.
Begins to steal like that.
Let me stop you.
So
6
make
seconds.
me to be the level I is. Thank you, brother.
Okay. Aha. Getting clearer. I can
pickpocketing, stealing.
Pilfering,
yes.
Pilfering. Okay then, one last call. Hello, good morning, yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Yes, my contribution in this issue is that there's nothing that will work in Nigeria except we structure the country, structure the constitution, we structure the minds of every Nigerian. That is where we move forward. Nigerians are totally bad. We Nigerians, we are bad. Right from the cleaner to the top man.
It means you, when they talk to me, you are bad.
Yes. Okay. Because I maintain that I'm okay. But when I get you will know until you get to that position.
All right.
You understand? You will know until you get to that position. All these people you are seeing, look at the way they behave on traffic. Look at the way they behave on public places. It shows that there's something wrong with Nigeria.
Thank you.
With this country. We must structure everything.
Okay. All right. Ojukwu, nothing more to add.
He said we need to restructure, including our minds.
Yeah. Cyril, 10 seconds.
We need to fix our politics. Once that is fixed, everything has to fall in line.
Okay. Mine is, I'll come from a tangent that would sound strange to you. Hunger, not the hear prayer. I'm out of here. So we'll be here on Saturday. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye now. And Cyril Abaku, many thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Ojukwu, I thank you too.
You're welcome.